At the end of this video, we'll reveal the fateful turning point in the life of John Dillinger, the decision that led him irrevocably to serial bank robbery and true crime infamy. But first, we'll sketch the key events in his early days to better understand what made Dillinger. Early on, there was something missing in John's life: a mother. She died after a stroke in 1907, leaving 3-year-old Johnny in the care of his father, a grocer. As a parent, John W. Dillinger was hot and cold, sometimes indulging his son's tendency to roam, and at other times leaving him locked inside the house while John W. was away managing his store. He once chained little Johnny to a horse cart behind the building. For his part, Johnny grew more rebellious, and he fell in with a gang in his Oak Hill neighborhood in Indianapolis. Their ringleader, Johnny, coordinated the theft and resale of tons of coal from a local rail yard when he was in the 6th grade. John W. decided country life might tame him. He moved the family to a farmhouse near Mooresville, a Quaker community about 20 miles southwest of Indianapolis. This, too, failed to restrain Johnny. He tried high school for 1 semester, and after failing most of his classes, dropped out to work full-time at a machine shop. He became obsessed with Jesse James and read many books about the Wild West outlaw. John stole a car, and rather than face punishment at home, he enlisted in the Navy, giving his real name but a false address. Once on duty, he went AWOL, but was caught and spent 10 days in solitary confinement. When his ship docked in Boston, he simply walked away and never went back. Later, he claimed the Navy gave him a dishonorable discharge. John returned home, and after marrying a girl from nearby Martinsville, he began to spend more time there. On the baseball field, he befriended an umpire named Ed Singleton. Ed and John conspired to rob a grocer who they heard walked home with his store's receipts after closing on Saturday evenings. John approached the grocer on the sidewalk and struck him in the head with a bolt wrapped in a handkerchief. Instead of falling, the grocer fought back, shouting the distress call of Freemasonry, and people rushed to help him. In the fracas, Dillinger's gun went off, and he thought he'd shot the man. He ran to the getaway car location, but Singleton, his driver, wasn't there. Dillinger was arrested the next day and denied involvement. He was persuaded by his father and the prosecutor to plead guilty after they assured him the judge would deliver a light sentence. After Dillinger tearfully confessed, the prosecutor advised the elder Dillinger not to hire a lawyer, since the case would likely be a straightforward one. At trial, John appeared without a lawyer of his own. To his shock, the judge sentenced him to 10 to 20 years in the Pendleton Reformatory. Dillinger arrived at Pendleton full of anger and resentment, blaming the judge, the prosecutor, and his own father for deceiving him into confessing. Dillinger became a model prisoner, exceeding his production goal at his station in the prison shirt shop and becoming a top student at the prison school. He made 2 good friends, Harry Pierpont and Homer Van Meter, both of whom were transferred to the state penitentiary in Michigan City. The day of Dillinger's parole hearing, he played shortstop on the Reformatory's baseball team. Governor Harry Leslie was in the crowd watching the game. John's fielding and batting were solid. The governor remarked, "That kid ought to be playing Major League ball." Later at the hearing, his parole was denied. Dillinger asked to be transferred to the state prison in Michigan City because they had a better baseball team than Pendleton. Prison officials were baffled by the request, but the governor approved it, and Dillinger was transferred. This move led directly to the fateful decision John Dillinger made while behind the bars of the state penitentiary. As Dillinger's release date was approaching, Harry Pierpont offered him a deal. If after his release, John would help Harry and his crew escape from the prison, Harry would make John his wheelman, the driver on the bank robberies he was planning. Pierpont also promised to connect John with those on the outside who could help plan and fund the breakout. Dillinger agreed and put himself on the path to infamy. With his early days of petty theft and a botched armed robbery behind him, Dillinger was about to graduate to a whole new level of violent lawbreaking. In the follow-up to this video, we'll discuss the Michigan City prison break and the Dillinger gang's crime spree. If you liked the video, please click the thumbs up button. It really helps as we continue to grow the channel. Here are 2 more videos I think you'll like. As always, thanks for watching, and subscribe for more historical and biographical videos.